how are y'all doing? This is going to be your March 2021 tarot reading. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returner, welcome back. I'm Sarah, this is Cancer Capricorn Guidance, and I'm here to bring you love, light, and guidance through tarot, astrology, and spirituality. Before we get started, in my description box, you can find my email. If you would like to schedule a personal reading with me, I am open to bookings, so just reach out to me via email and we can set something up. You can also find my Instagram. I will be doing an announcement this month on Instagram, so feel free to give me a follow. You can also find a couple different links to some Spotify playlists, including my March 2021 playlist, so feel free to check those out. You can also find my PayPal link if you would like to donate to this channel. It would mean so much to me, so thank you if you do that. Alright Libra, let's get started. I'm really excited because I have a brand new deck that I'm using in all the readings this month. It's called Neon Moon. It's by a seller on Etsy. I will link that in the description box, as well as the I Am Everything Oracle deck that I always use. I'm really excited to use that because I'll be starting to build more interesting spreads with a lot more clarification and a lot more going on, so I'm excited about using that. And I'm going to start with the Oracle cards as always, or I just have them this month because I really enjoy starting the readings with that. Oh, and a quick reminder, my friend Hannah drew these lovely tarot card prints behind me, and I linked her Etsy and her Instagram in my description box if you're interested in checking out her art. Alright, so any first messages here for Libra? I just want to say that when I was doing the Virgo reading, my stomach immediately, Virgo's ruled by the stomach, my stomach immediately started feeling weird. And then just now when I was sitting down to do the Libra reading, I started I couldn't breathe. I started feeling really weird and I couldn't breathe all of a sudden. So Libra, maybe you've been experiencing issues surrounding breath or breathing, or circulation maybe. All right, any first messages for Libra? I just thought I should share that. It was an interesting channeling or experience. Any first messages for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus? Any placements you may have in your chart? Any energy that you've been vibing with? I can't speak. I am compassionate, the number 13. I understand how important it is to have compassion, and not just for others, but for myself as well. I forgive myself for the times I may have let myself down. I forgive others for the same. I realize that, like me, everyone is doing the best they know with the tools they have. I am compassionate. That's interesting, Libra. I feel like right now you really need to tap into having compassion toward yourself, and also, yes, others, but I feel like there's this lack of there's this energy of I need to be at my best, and so everyone else does as well, and it may be manifesting a little bit into going outward and not being as understanding as you can be to the people around you, because you're also not being understanding and giving yourself a break, and so that lack of energy towards yourself is kind of manifesting outwardly towards other people. I think this is a really good time for you to step into a place of having compassion for yourself, giving yourself a rest when you need rest, listening to your body, especially with this Virgo full moon. It's going to be a lot about listening to your body, and just having forgiveness for yourself for the ways that you haven't been coming through for yourself, the ways that you haven't been meeting your expectations or others' expectations or responsibilities. There's a need to kind of have that understanding for others not fully coming through or not being able to, because there's also that need to do that for yourself. Maybe you've been really extra hard on yourself or extra hard on the people around you because you're trying to make things go a certain way, but other people aren't meeting your expectations. But it also could be a sign that internally you're not meeting your own expectations, and that's how it's manifesting. There's a big emphasis here on needing to be understanding of those around you and also of yourself. Excuse me. So, Libra. Yeah, I'm getting maybe you just need to take a moment and have a breather. Do some deep breathing to really, excuse me. Oh, I really thought I had to sneeze. Having to take a deep breather to really ground yourself and kind of listen to yourself, listen to your body, and give yourself a break in terms of what expectations, whether they're yours or someone else's, that you're not meeting right now, and kind of release those high expectations a little bit. Take a breather, take a meditative state to think about why you feel like you need to go above and beyond, or why you feel like you're not meeting those expectations, or why others aren't meeting those for you. That's interesting, Libra. Alright, let's get into your reading, see what comes up for y'all. Definitely try meditation that has a focus on breathing that might be beneficial to you at this time. Oh, that sneeze. It's going to drive me crazy until it comes. All right, Libra, let's get into your reading. Let's see what comes up. Any messages for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars, whatever placements you may have in your chart, whatever energy you've been vibing with. These messages are for Libra for March 2021. Any messages for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars for March 2021. These messages could resonate to you, someone you're dealing with, someone in your environment. Roles could be reversed, things could be vice versa. Just take it however it resonates. Could be the past, present, future. Take it how it resonates. Interesting, Libra. Any messages for Libra for March 2021? Any other messages for Libra for March 2021? Any messages for Libra for March 2021? Any other messages for Libra? Yeah, okay. I'm getting a lot of energy of like impulse, impatience, a lot to do with patience and impatience and impulse and not thinking things through, like taking action or speaking before you've thought about it, before you've checked in with yourself. There's a lot of that energy here. Okay, Libra, for the overall energy, we have the Knight of Swords reversed. This is really telling me that you're not thinking through something before you go, or maybe you weren't thinking through something and then you just kind of took an action or did something or said something, or you're ready to like jump into something without really doing the research first or putting in a lot of, prior thought before you kind of jump into it. There's like this like restlessness that's like pushing you forward and making you be like, I need to go now. I need to go do it right now before something gets fucked up, before I miss my chance. I need to, like, maybe you just were in a place where there was a lot on your mind and you just word vomited and now you're kind of reeling back and regretting that you said things too soon, or you said something you didn't mean, you put your foot in your mouth. It's kind of like just like this impulse control. There's something to do with impulse here where you did something or said something without really thinking about it. It was this like need that kind of pushed you forward before you were ready or before you maybe should have. Definitely something here with like needing to move forward, but like there's something about maybe you should do a little bit of checking in with yourself, think things through before you push forward. There may be like a regrettable action. There's this need to rush into something when really it should be taken with a little bit more patience. Because here with the Moon reverse and the Fool, it's like you didn't check in yourself. You're not listening to your intuition. You're almost ignoring your intuition. You're ignoring how you really feel. And then all of a sudden you take a leap and you just fucking go for it. And that could spell trouble. It could not. It could be beneficial, but I'm getting that there's a lot of impulse here. There's a lot of doing things without thinking things through. And there's a lot of ignoring yourself, ignoring how you actually feel, ignoring your gut, ignoring your emotional, like internal self, and kind of going for something anyway without really checking in with yourself before you take that leap. It could also be that, especially with this Virgo full moon that just passed, you may have had some realizations or some things come to the light or some things come to the surface in terms of your emotional self that kind of triggered you to be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna take a leap. I'm gonna take that leap of faith. I'm just gonna jump in and go down this path and see what happens. Because I had a lot of these emotions come to the surface. I realized a lot about how I feel about a situation. And so with this, I'm just gonna take a leap. I'm just gonna move forward with it. I'm getting some Aries and Sagittarius energy. Yeah, that's what's sticking out to me. But there's also some swords here. I feel like it's like a battle between like thinking things through and like thinking about things and then just taking that action. There's like this battle in yourself of, should I sit here and think things through? Should I really, be more rational about the situation, or should I just kind of let passion lead me here? Kind of let passion lead the way? Because there's something here about not really knowing the outcome, not really having a plan, not really putting a lot of time and planning into something, but you kind of jumped for it anyway. Not knowing what the outcome is going to be, kind of letting passion lead you, but in a way that's like, I really don't know where this is going, but I'm going to jump into it and see what happens. Not really having a plan for things, not really seeing the long-term vision of something, but having faith that it may turn into something for you. Because there's something here with patience. This temperance here is telling me that you're desperate for alignment. You're desperate for something that's going to feel really right. And so you're jumping into this thinking, this is the one, this is what feels right, I'm going to go for it. But with this Knight of Pentacles reverse, it's telling me that you're being very impatient. You're jumping into this. You're jumping into this wholeheartedly because you're desperate for this balance and alignment and nice balance within yourself and temperament, and you're striving for that. And so you're still working on that. There's still that part of you that's working on that temperament, but there's still there's this sense of extreme impatience and wanting to get there, wanting to get to the end goal and just rushing into this. I'm getting a lot of just rushing and impulse and jumping in. I'm also seeing here that maybe you jumped in and it's turning out that this isn't holding as much promise as you thought it was because you didn't check in with yourself before you did jump in. And now you're coming into a place where you're working on that patience, where you're working on the temperament, you're working on, maybe you've gone into a space where you're a little bit too patient, you're a little bit too on the taking it day by day, taking it step by step. I think there's just a lot of like wrestling energy. You could be resonating with either of these energies, but I see a lot of duality here with jumping in and then like extreme holding back and being too reserved, like not taking any action, being very tempered, not ready to make a move because you're not sure yet. Maybe in the past, you've had a lot of experiences where you've acted on impulse and it's kind of not gone well for you. And so you're trying to control that impulse here. You're coming into a situation where you're learning how to control that impulse because you want things to really lead to the temperance. You want to have that fool, you want to have that excitement, you want to have that passion that makes you jump into things and just take a leap of faith because life is more fun that way. But there's also a sense of you that's really calmed down and chilled out in how you approach things, and you're really starting to take a more, the temperance approach where you're like, I want what's really truly in alignment for me, and so I'm gonna chill out, I'm gonna hold off, I'm gonna not romanticize every opportunity that comes my way, I'm gonna be a bit more skeptical, I'm gonna see how things go, because in the past I've ignored my intuition, I've ignored my emotional desires and what I actually wanted, and I jumped into things that didn't turn out the right way, didn't turn out to be great for me. And so now I'm taking a more approach where it has a lot more to do with patience and taking things step by step. You may be in a territory now where you're too cautioned, too guarded, too hesitant, and not ready to move forward. Like you may be taking things a little bit too slowly. If this is about a relationship, I'm seeing that there's been a thing before in the past for you, maybe where you are very impulsive with your words. You say things really soon. You say things that you don't mean, or you just get really excited by the prospect of something and you jump into a relationship despite knowing that you may not be emotionally ready for one at this time. And things kind of turn out not so great, but now you're working on your patience and you're a lot more cautious than you used to be. You're a lot more patient, and maybe you're taking things really slow and doing a really, really slow courting process with someone that you're getting to know. But I just feel that this is releasing some kind of pain and wounding for you. This is really about releasing some kind of pain and wounding for you. Maybe you fucked a lot of shit up in your past in your own life and you're realizing that it's because you have jumped into things before you're ready, or jumped into things before you really thought them through, or jumped into things before you really had a conversation with yourself about whether or not this is really what you want, whether or not this is really in alignment with you, whether or not this is going to be worth it if you take your time and go about it slowly. There's some kind of pain here that's being released. Maybe you're going into something new that very slowly and very patiently, and that's kind of releasing some old wounding for you, where things have not been turned out in the greatest of results because you rushed into them, because you jumped into them impulsively, and now you're taking things a lot more slowly, and it's releasing a lot of past pains for you. if this is about a relationship, I see that you're getting to know someone very slowly here. You're taking things very slowly. And with this, you're releasing a lot of past pains from your heart. You're taking it slowly and really getting to know someone and letting someone get to know you. You're doing some healing in this process. There's definitely some healing here. Definitely some healing here. There could have been something here with the reason that you rushed and jumped into things in the past is because of an insecurity, because of a lack of connection to self, because of a misalignment within yourself. And that's where the pain was. But I definitely see it is that whatever this new thing is that you're kind of approaching a lot more slowly, it's almost like you're learning to let go of a lot of the illusions. I think in the past you may have jumped into things that looked really good on the surface, but it was that you were very disillusioned by the shiny object syndrome, like how pretty something looks and how promising something looks. Like just because it has potential and you know, oh, this is the one, I'm gonna jump into it. I think you're looking at things a lot more critically now and really thinking things through before you jump in, because this is a healing process for you and you really want to get there, but you also are learning how to be very patient. You're learning how to be very patient. And I think this is also telling me that maybe you jumped into a lot of things and you were just so excited by a lot of the options you used to have. And now that you're kind of taking things a lot more slowly, you're taking the time to really focus on just one thing at a time, just one person that you're seeing or getting to know, just one opportunity that you're kind of honing in on and taking slowly and being very patient about. It's kind of healing this like illusion of like, maybe you used to jump from one thing to the next because it was like you shallowly, you know, got to know it, and then it was like, oh, just kidding, on to the next. There's just this energy of like jumping into things at the first sight instead of kind of getting to know and then kind of going into it. Yeah, there's something about illusions here. I think those illusions are being shattered though. Those things are being let go of in some way. Those illusions are being shattered. I'm also getting that you're closing off your options. You're closing off your openness to other opportunities and other options because you're kind of focusing in on this one right now. And because I think there's a promise of healing here. There's something about this might provide healing for you in some way. And so you're kind of honing in and focusing on just this right now. All right, Libra, let's pull some clarifications for y'all. Can I get a clarification for the Knight of Swords reverse for Libra here? Clarification for the Knight of Swords for Libra. Clarification for the Knight of Swords for Libra. For some reason, to me, the Knight of Swords has Libra energy. I'm getting a lot of like, you romanticized past things before you really understood them or knew them. Yeah, the Ten of Cups reversed. I think you really jumped into things out of a fear of like this deep desire to reach that kind of Ten of Cups fulfillment. But it was like jumping into these opportunities and maybe committing to certain things before you really knew what they were really about and what they were going to provide for you. And so a lot of these things that you jumped into impulsively turned out to be things that weren't your Ten of Cups. Yeah, having a lot of romanticism and kind of looking at things with rose-colored lenses, which is a very, very Libra thing to do. Having this hope that something is going to be your Ten of Pentacles or Ten of Cups and kind of rushing into it and then realizing it turns out to not be. And I think that has something to do reason-wise because you rushed into it too soon, because you tried to jump really quickly into it. There's this need to understand yourself better. There's this need to understand yourself and be in touch with yourself and be having conversations with yourself so that you understand what you really need and want before you jump into things that aren't in alignment with you. Does that make sense? Like, it's this desire of Ten of Cups, but I don't think you knew or you don't know what your Ten of Cups is, so you jump into things that hold a little bit of promise and you're like, this could be, but it comes from this lack of connection to self and what you truly need and want that will help you understand and figure out what does your Ten of Cups look like, and then you can make decisions on what you choose to involve yourself in that will help you align and find that Ten of Cups, whatever that is for you. But I think you jumped into a lot of things in the past, or maybe you're experiencing a situation right now where you jumped in and you're realizing very quickly that this isn't my Ten of Cups. And this happened because I jumped in before I took the time to get to know it a little bit. I wasn't very patient and I just went right for it when I should have taken a bit more time. Can I get a clarification for the Moon reverse? That's really telling me there's a disconnection with self. There's a disconnection with your inner self, with your intuition, something that your intuition you're ignoring. The Three of Pentacles. There's this need to like have collaboration within yourself, to have the different parts of yourself in alignment, to have your head in alignment with your heart, in alignment with your body, etc. There's this need to get in touch with how you really feel and have a lot of these emotions come to the surface so that you can figure out how you want to start to build something, how you want to collaborate and work with yourself and your different desires and your different impulses so that things can go more smoothly. Yeah, I'm just seeing that there's this disconnection with yourself, with your internal self, that's making it difficult for you to really work with the different parts of yourself. Like you may feel that different parts of yourself are in like headbutting, like your head is headbutting your heart. There's this lack of collaboration with the different parts of you because you're out of touch with yourself in general. Can I get a clarification for the Fool for Libra regarding this spread? Clarification for the Fool for Libra. The Apprentice, that's the Page. Yeah, the Page of Swords reversed. Yeah, you jumped in to something, or you used to have this pattern of jumping into things that excited you, but there was some kind of like, there was like this passion that kind of drove you to jump into things, but there was this disconnect with your mental self that it was like this desire or this lack of desire to keep exploring and to just kind of settle into the first thing that comes your way and looks good, because you were like kind of tired and not in the mood to keep searching, not in the mood to keep mentally using your mental energy to, let's say it's in terms of dating, you were jumping into things that were coming your way because you were getting really tired of doing the mental searching, the meeting people, like there's this lack of mental stimulation that you were receiving, and so you settled on things that came in because they held a little bit of promise, even if they weren't completely right for you. Libras are an air sign. They need a lot of mental stimulation. You may have jumped into things that weren't providing a lot of mental stimulation and mental connection that you really wanted. There was just like an imbalance, a lack of like physical impulse and your body pulling you towards desire and jumping into something, and then how that's disconnected from your mind and what you actually want and need mentally. There's definitely a lot of that energy here. Can I get a clarification for the Two of Wands reverse for Libra? The Seven of Swords. It's something where you jumped into a lot of things that held a bit of promise, even though you knew deep down that they actually didn't. There was this lack of like planning and foresight. And it had something to do with you like feeling guilty or feeling like you needed to get away with something, or feeling like you weren't being yourself, like maybe putting up a front about who you are when you're meeting people and kind of acting a certain way to match energy. Like that's very Libra energy to me, where it's like, you know, I really want to connect with this person, so let me figure out what they like and how they are, and kind of mirror or like mimic some of their things and their habits and their actions. And there's something that's leaving you feeling like guilty, or like you're portraying a role, like a little bit of imposter syndrome almost, where you were kind of doing things and not even thinking about it, and it's because it was this disconnect from your true self, from your true desires, that you were like doing these things reflexively that didn't feel like you felt like you were playing a part, you felt like you were playing a role. And that's something that you kind of internalized for a long time, and actually led to you feeling very guilty, feeling very disconnected from self, feeling like you were hiding something, or not feeling like yourself, feeling like you were fooling people in some way. Like making promises that you didn't really mean or didn't have the intention of keeping, or, you know, speaking about, yeah, I'm really into you, let's do this, but not actually feeling that way, just doing it because you're more focused on finding balance and security in your 10 of Cups than you were with actually really connecting with yourself and figuring out what you truly desire and need. There's definitely this feeling of, this energy of feeling like guilty and like you're hiding something, you got away with something, you were just playing a role. But really, you were taking these opportunities and jumping into these things that you know didn't really hold a lot of promise for you, but you did them anyway because you felt obligated to in some way. You felt obligated to other people. That's very Libra energy to me. Doing things to please other people instead of really connecting with yourself and what you want. I'm definitely getting a lot of that energy. There's a lack of planning and foresight here, and it's made you feel kind of guilty. Yeah. Can I get a clarification for the Temperance card here for Libra? Clarification for the Temperance here for Libra. Clarification for the Temperance here for Libra. The Three of Wands. You're feeling a lot more optimistic these days. I think that you're really actively working to try to reach that place of like alignment and balance within yourself, and you're feeling a lot more optimistic these days. I think you're learning how to kind of lead with your heart and lead with your passion, not just using your body to kind of lead you and push you in certain directions, feeling like you're not the one steering, like you're doing things and not even realizing that you're doing them when you're doing them, because that's really caused by a disconnect with yourself, a lack of connection to self. But this temperance, this balance, this alignment is something that you're really striving for, something that you really want to start working towards and putting energy into, and you're starting to feel a lot more hopeful about it. You're really going to be putting a lot more energy and time into striving for that. It's something that you really want to accomplish for yourself. It's a habit you really want to incorporate. There's a lot of patience that you're putting in, and so you're looking to the future and becoming a lot more patient and looking at the long term, like what do I really truly want and need long term, not just, going for the first thing that comes my way. Can I get a clarification for the Knight of Pentacles reverse for Libra? The Four of Swords. The Knight of Pentacles reverse is telling me that you're really, really, really slowing down because it's time to take a rest. It's time to kind of reevaluate what matters to you and how you want to kind of move towards something and go about reaching this goal of reaching more temperament and patience within yourself. You're having a lot of patience because you're really going inward at this time and taking a break and really meditating, reflecting, talking to yourself, like having those moments alone, having those moments of peace, maybe engaging in a little bit of a break from dating or meeting people or whatever you were doing, whatever this habit was of jumping into things, being impulsive. You're taking a break, you're slowing down a lot. The Knight of Pentacles reverse is telling me that you're getting really slow and patient and moving a lot slower, or maybe you're slowing down a lot and so you need to take that time to yourself, that Four of Swords, that meditative, reflective state that you need to be in. It's just saying you need a rest, you need to take a break. Reflect on yourself, reflect on your desires, reflect on your habits. Can I get a clarification for the Three of Swords reverse for Libra? The Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, it's telling me to invest in your own healing. Invest in healing this old habit that you don't want to do anymore. Invest in yourself. Invest in the ways in which you want to gain that alignment and peace and stability and temperament within yourself. Invest in your healing process. Take some time and put some energy into removing those swords from your heart and healing this old wound. Take some time to invest in healing yourself, and that starts with getting in touch with yourself, taking that time out to really reflect and be alone and reconnect with your moon, your emotional self. What is the Ten of Cups? What is that to you? What do you want, truly? Are you patient enough to get there? Are you patient enough to wait for the right thing, not just the first thing? No judgment, Libra. This is just how I'm seeing it. Can I have a clarification for the Seven of Cups reverse for Libra? Clarification for the Seven of Cups reverse for Libra. The Ten of Swords reversed. Again, whatever this new thing is, this new energy that you're actively trying to step into and really incorporate into your life, this reflection, this patience, this temperance, this calmness, this understanding that, like, it's just this, like, patience of, like, I can be patient for what I want. I can be patient in my healing process. I can be slow and patient in getting to know people. I can be slow and patient with taking time to get to know myself again and reconnect with myself and do a lot of this healing. And again, it really is like these swords are coming out of your back, whatever this ending or finality or pain or even betrayal that might have even occurred. Maybe betrayal of self. For a long time you were betraying yourself, and that's why you were choosing things that weren't really in alignment with you. Whatever this, like, shattering of illusions is, whatever this closing yourself off to other opportunities because you're going to choose to focus on just one, or you're going to choose to focus on yourself. Like, this is really telling me if this is in a dating context and, like, relationships context, you're closing yourself off to other opportunities because you really need to focus on you, or you're going to focus on just one person right now and get to know them. It's really ushering in a healing process for you. It's like the finality occurred, the pain occurred, like there may be just an ending to this cycle for you, and so you're really beginning to heal that by this illusion of what once was or what you thought your 10 of cups was. That's all being healed. Those illusions are being shattered and falling away, and you're looking at things a lot more realistically, a lot more patiently, a lot more honestly, a lot more in a lens of what do I want and need? What does my soul need? What does my heart need? Is it in alignment with my head? Is everything in alignment? Closing yourself off to all the shiny, pretty things to focus on you or to focus on just one thing is really going to help you with your healing. Really invest in that healing. Really invest in yourself so that you can remove these swords and begin to move on. Be compassionate towards yourself and others. Be compassionate towards yourself and others throughout this healing process, throughout this journey to that temperance. I love that it's at the center. It's like, that's what you're striving for. You're becoming a lot more patient with yourself, with others, with healing processes, with how long it takes to really get to know yourself and invest in yourself. It's a long process. All right, Libra, let's pull 3 cards of advice for you. Any cards of advice here for Libra regarding this spread? Any messages of advice here for Libra regarding this spread? Any messages of advice here for Libra regarding this spread? Any other messages of advice for Libra regarding this spread? Oh, that was a lot. Okay. So we have the 4 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords reversed, the Devil, and the Queen of Cups reversed. With the 4 of Pentacles, this is really telling me it's time to kind of like protect yourself, protect your energy, protect your valuable assets, protect the parts of yourself that you don't really want to give away to other people right now. Like there's this need to kind of close yourself off to certain things and just stay in like a protection mode in a way. Really work on just like keeping to yourself for a little bit, kind of rebuilding something, rebuilding your foundation, rebuilding your stability. Maybe there's just a rebuilding period that needs to occur that has a lot to do with just focusing on yourself. And so you need to do that rebuilding right now and kind of be protective of what you're rebuilding, be protective of what you have, and not be so open to giving a lot of those things away. Not being completely open right now, being a little bit selfish, just a little bit, because you're really focused on yourself and your energy and your time. Ace of Swords reverse, you may be experiencing a little bit of mental blockage, but that's okay. You may be closing yourself off to communication from certain people. There may be certain people that aren't good for you on this journey to finding that patience. There may be people who enable certain bad habits surrounding impulsivity. So maybe time to close yourself off to those certain people, or you may not have the most mental clarity right now, but that's okay. That's what this rest period is for. That's what this 4 of Swords period is for. It's for kind of just sitting, observing your own thoughts, observing your own emotions, getting in touch with yourself. You may not be understanding of everything yet, but you will get there. And that's what this process is about, like relearning about yourself, getting to know yourself. The Devil is telling you that there may be old habits coming up. With the Queen of Cups in reverse, there may be old habits coming up that have to do with you quickly opening up to people and being nurturing to other people. This may be that bad habit for you. The bad habit may be impulsivity. The bad habit may be emotional instability, or being a little too emotionally vulnerable to people, or a little too emotionally helpful to others. This is really telling me that this is the time to really go inward and focus on yourself and work on yourself and have that energy towards yourself. Like, this devil energy is telling me that it's like really time to close off the emotional givingness that you have towards other people. It may not be a time to be utilizing that right now. It's really time to turn that nurturing quality inward and just kind of not coddle yourself, but like just turn all that emotional energy inward and really invest in yourself to try to work towards this goal of patience that you're trying to receive or achieve, like patience and the temperance. And that's a really good goal to have, and really just getting a lot more patient and getting yourself in alignment within yourself, really finding that balance. And that has a lot to do with taking the time out to reflect and be alone and listen to yourself, listen to your thoughts, and not let that devil energy creep up that's going to make you go back to old ways of jumping into things or being too open. Like, this is really just telling you to turn your energy inward towards yourself right now. So Libra, I'm going to leave it at that. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. If any of this resonated with you, please leave comments down below. I would love to hear about it. Again, in my description box, you can find my email. If you would like to reach out to me to schedule a personal reading, please feel free to do so. You could find my Instagram. Feel free to give me a follow. You can find those links to those Spotify playlists, and you can find my PayPal link if you would like to donate. Libras, this is really beautiful. I really hope that you take the time to find that balance, find that peace within yourself, really take some time out and some time to be alone. And yeah, take care of yourself. Libras, I love you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next reading.